What up, world? R.I.C.H coming right back at you. And today, we gotta talk about Jake Lang showing up outside the BET Awards with a sign saying black parents are failures. And let's not play games with what that was. That was not a serious conversation about family. That was an instigator walking into a black cultural space with a sign, hoping somebody would lose control on camera.
Guys, we're here on the ground at the BET Awards. Jake Lang is here. He's made an appearance with a truck.
Welfare state, people that don't.
Oh, and Richard.
Public sidewalk. Put the blacks back in church. Get them out of the trap house. You guys are disgusting culture. Celebrating drug dealing. Celebrating home invasion. Celebrating armed robbery. The BET Awards is celebrating degeneracy. It looks like a bunch of prostitutes are dressed up in there.
See you guys fascinated.
Fix your culture. You sit in your own youth, and then you start killing each other. People that celebrate that violence, that's how you learn. Because your parents failed you. Your parents failed you.
Your mama failed you. His mother failed him. What do you mean?
You're not a soldier. We know that's your second nature.
Free speech may protect your right to say something stupid, but it does not make the stupidity respectable. You don't show up with a sign at the BET Awards attacking black parents unless you're trying to get a reaction. That sign was bait. And the dirty part is how people like this operate. They insult you first, then when you get angry, they tell you to control your emotions like your anger came out of nowhere. But black people know what that language touches. It touches a history of families being separated, fathers being criminalized, mothers being blamed, and black households being treated like a problem instead of protected like a community. So when somebody walks up with a sign like that, it's not just words on a poster board. It is provocation with a camera waiting. And I don't want to see Jake Lang get hurt. I don't want to see any black person throw their freedom away over a man chasing a viral moment. But we also have to stop pretending that constant public provocation can't create real world danger. The black man who stepped in understood the trap. He wasn't protecting that sign. He was protecting the crowd from becoming the story that Jake Lang was there to create. One swing and the whole headline changes. Now the racial insult becomes a footnote, and the black person who reacted becomes the face of the story. That is why discipline matters in moments like this. Not because the disrespect don't hurt, but because the people who doing that disrespect are counting on you to get emotional. They walk into black spaces, say something degrading, record the response, then run back to their audience and claim they were the victim. That is not courage. That's race-baiting politics. And we have already seen where this kind of thing can go.
Dalton Etherly, known online as Chud the Builder, faces attempted murder and other charges. And investigators testified that surveillance video showed Eatherly approaching another man while carrying a selfie stick before he walked away. The defense then argued that that man followed Eatherly, grabbed him, and then put him in a headlock before those shots were fired. Now, the shooting victim was airlifted to Vanderbilt, we know, and prosecutors argued that Eatherly built an online following by provoking confrontations in public for attention and money. Now, the court also heard investigators found a bulletproof vest in his car and also plane tickets to Istanbul, Turkey, scheduled to leave today, May 22nd. The courtroom also grew very tense at times. Judge Poland repeatedly warned the gallery to remain quiet during testimony and that video evidence.
We're going to have a orderly hearing today. If there's anybody speaking out or any kind of problem out in the gallery, that's going to be considered open contempt, and you're going to be subject to up to 10 days in jail or a $50 fine or both.
Now, at one point, conservative activist Jake Lang, who was in the gallery, was removed from the courtroom and taken into custody after making comments about what he called a two-tiered justice system. Court records show that Lang previously served prison time connected to the January 6th Capitol riots before later receiving a presidential pardon.
That's a $1 million bond with the following conditions: no weapons, GPS monitor. There will be a gag order for Mr. Eatherly regarding social media and live streaming about the facts or the parties involved in this case. That's going to help him as much as any of that.
Now, as you just heard, Eatherly's bond was lowered from $1.25 million to $1 million. The judge also said bond conditions would include GPS monitoring and social media restrictions as well. Now, court officials say the case has now been moved to circuit court, and Eatherly's previously scheduled May 26 hearing has been canceled. Mark.
This is why these internet instigators need to be careful. When you build a platform off harassing people in public, eventually the content runs into somebody who don't give a damn about your platform. That don't make the violence right, but it does make the danger obvious. You cannot keep poking people in their deepest wounds and then act confused when the room gets hot. If Jake Lang wanted a real conversation about black families, he could have had one without standing outside a black award show with an insulting sign. He didn't come for solutions. He came for footage. And that is why black people have to be smarter than to take the bait. Ignore his ass, call it out, expose it, and walk away with your freedom. Do not let a man who disrespects you also direct your future, because that is the real trap. The sign was ignorant, but the goal was bigger than that. The goal was to make black anger useful for his moment. And the man who stepped in stopped that from happening. That was the real power in this moment. Not the sign and not the heckling, the restraint. Because sometimes the strongest person in the crowd is the one who sees the setup before it becomes a court case. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.